Order. Have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, I just want to remind everybody that our meeting is on Zoom, so please indicate whether you want to be called on to talk to avoid too much talking because it can't be understood on the Zoom call. So good morning, everybody. I will start with additions to the agenda. Denny?
No, nothing.
Okay. Amy?
I just want to give a little update on the 2024 Walsh County Appreciation Party details that I have.
Amy?
Oh, I just.
She's on.
Yep. Appreciation. Okay, Christie? None. Ernie?
I got a quick one on the health board. We had a meeting last night. And then also on the North Dakota Township Association workshop. We held in Parker. I'll give you a date on that.
Christie?
I have election training that I'd like to visit with you guys about.
Okay. And I don't have anything today, so we'll move on to our consent agenda and our regular meeting minutes from January 16th and our monthly bills. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes and bills?
Second.
Thank you, Amy. Any discussion or questions on the minutes or the bills? Hearing none, all those in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we will go to employee time. That Ron would be here, but we have a couple gentlemen from the soil conservation. We'll put you guys in employee time, so just have a couple minutes to tell us.
Yeah, I'm mostly here to sit in today, but we also have been working on the Walsh County Water Quality Team. And we're pursuing different issues related to protection of groundwater and source water, particularly the Portable Aquifer, but also the Red River as a source water for Grafton. So we're just kind of here on that front. And I've been working with Rachel Takala of the Rural Water Association through the state, and then Alan Ziden, who's on our board, also on the group. It's kind of wild because we've had any like regulation ordinances updated. It seems like in the county related to that, and we do have exposed water in the aquifer, so it's a kind of health concern. So.
Okay. You probably can let our auditor know what you want on as the agenda for next time. So. Thank you. Okay, next we have Water Resource District. They're not here yet. Amy, you want to give an update on your appreciation part?
So I just wanted to kind of make sure everyone was good with it, the details. So because we were in Park River last year, we talked about going back to the Minto Community Center for 2024. So I did contact Brad Narlock, who's who I had to contact. I have the rental agreement. We would have to put down a security deposit of $300 for it. And then 701 Barbecue is who they have catered several events, and they do all forms of barbecue, and they love working in the Minto Community Center, and they would be open. So I just tentatively set for December 6th, which is the first Friday in December. It's hard to get some of these people. The 701 Barbecue is they're a food truck and they do other things, so it you kind of have to reserve them early, that's why I reached out. So I just want to make sure everyone's on this, you know, up to date, if there's any questions or concerns about that, but otherwise, if we're good with it, we'll just, you know, put the deposit down in the Minto Community Center, and then I won't do anymore for a while, but these two things, I just thought, if we're okay with it, we'll get set in stone for now and we proceed.
Okay, any questions?
I'm just thinking last time when we had it in Minto, I think there was a big difference between the two of the people serving, price wise for the meal. So you think I'd get a second bid or something?
Well, if you have suggestions of it, I looked at what our
Yeah.
price per meal was at even this last year, and based on just talking with them, I think we're gonna be okay for just price per person wise, but yeah, and if you guys have any other ideas or things that you're considering or wanting, please let me know. Cause it doesn't matter how soon you reach out to them, you know, they're, like these places, they book up by March for the whole year that they set their calendar, so.
Sure.
Yeah, I have no problem. I was just sort of curious. So there's a big difference in the price.
Mhm.
Can I ask where they all live? I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I know, so I think Grand Forks.
Idea.
They did a wedding for a Tucker wedding, and I've heard other people have had them and they just rave about them, like the best barbecue brisket, you know, and I just thought, well, it's kind of and they've done so much in Minto, so she even said when she reached back, we love working in there. So I just think it would be an easy fit, you know, for them that way, and I've not heard anything but great about their menu and stuff, so.
Are we gonna get some guffers going out of the county?
My only concern is that we're not keeping it, that we're not keeping it. within-
Well, we got businesses in the county and we try to support, exactly, that's my only concern, because we'll hear about it.
Well, and like I said, anyone that has ideas or reach out, that's great. It's not easy to get caterers and food for that amount of people. So obviously we're early and I'm fully open to that. I just wanted to get something so we're not scrambling come October, you know.
So what kind of meal would they serve?
So it would be like a barbecue style. So they do brisket and ribs and mac and cheese and coleslaw. I mean, like I said, they do weddings, they do a variety of different. I don't know their full menu. Like I said, I've heard that anyone that's had it thinks it's great. So mashed potatoes, you know, that.
Yeah, I mean, we wanna know that everybody's getting a nice plate, not just a picnic thing.
Oh, yeah, no,
That
no.
I'm
I
just-
mean, they serve at weddings, so I feel pretty comfortable our employee appreciation party would
Yeah,
be happy with their.
I know,
product.
I'm just going back how many years we've been there in Minto, we've had, Mennonites do it, we've had Chris and them do it, and I think last year Beaver, with Fader had it,
Mhm.
you know, so there's,
And I know Melody at Beavers actually had this group for their employee appreciation party,
Okay.
like that's who they brought in for their
Right.
employees, so.
Because they-
But yeah, if you guys had a different one that, you know, like I said, I'm fully open and of course wanna support local.
yeah,
So just let me know if there's another one you want me to check with.
I don't really,
Well-
I guess I just like to see local.
you could check with Beavers too. Okay. Okay, any more questions on that? No, okay. Do they know they're supposed to come up at 9:10?
Yeah,
Okay,
they requested the time, didn't they?
yeah, okay. Ernie, you wanna report on the health board?
We had a meeting last night, and they had some updates on the septic deal. They were talking about, cause they come up here and gas and everything, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 trips, they wanted to raise the inspection fee from the health department from $2 to $2.50, and I guess that passed. They had 19 evals on septics and 13 installs last quarter, so. And the sad news is that grant that Alan was gonna apply for the Agassiz to fund that after the county gets done, fell through. Some bigger entity got over 50% of the money out of that. So he said there was a lot of strings pulled, he thought, on that one, so, but he's still gonna apply for other grants, we're hoping we can find some more funding for it. So,
And when does that end, Ernie?
what's that?
When does that end?
The what?
The Agassiz or
Is it this year's our last year?
I feel like this year's our
Yeah, I
last
think at the
year.
end of 24, it's done.
And if we can't find funds, we've got problems.
Because we did it for 3 years and it just seems like it should be our 3rd year, so. And I think that's why he was doing it, the grant was for like into 25, but somehow we just didn't get it. Oh, and they purchased a new vehicle? out of the, state fund. They got a brand new Escalade. 24,
Escalade.
or not Escalade, Escape,
Oh,
okay, little one, and
wow,
for 27,000.
a brand new,
A brand new one, heck of a bid.
out of the state.
It was on the state bid,
Yeah.
out of Nelson's, and he got it for 27,000.
So why does Brent have such problems getting something out in the
I
state
suppose
bid?
pickups are different, I don't know, but
It's a
they,
pickup. It's-
Yeah,
yeah.
These
but he-
little things are
when you-
pretty
And
reasonable.
I know an Escape is smaller, but I thought, man, what do you get for 27,000 in the vehicle anymore? So,
mhm. Good, good, good.
That's a lot of cars you can get there.
and there's still applications for the new part-time health nurse. They're having trouble. They just, nobody wants to apply. They actually upped that to, he's thinking about $32 an hour now, at a 32-hour week. It's hard in this atmosphere to find any.
Healthcare business.
Yep. And that's what he said to me, because Jared Markwood's on their dock, and he said the same thing, they're having trouble hiring, and they don't wanna go against us, and we don't wanna go against them, but it's tough out there to hire anybody in healthcare now. So that's about it on the healthcare.
Okay. Well, they're not here, so you wanna do the township?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys got this, it's in the township letter, they got a workshop scheduled, so there'll be a workshop in Park River from 1 to 3 at the city hall on February 27th. So, I don't know if anybody here is gonna go, I probably will, and I guess it's for all the township officers, hopefully they show up, so. But it's February 27th at 1 o'clock at the Park River City Hall.
Soon, the highway department. We're ready, are you?
They're coming, they're in an embroiled discussion.
Oh,
No, I'm
okay.
kidding. They're winding it down, but they're just trying to get everybody out there. Larry's
Can you do the election?
kimping along, he just
Yeah.
had surgery, so he's taking the hours.
Okay, so we'll do, election update with Christie then.
Okay, there is election training, March sixth through the eighth in, Bismarck. It is a 2 to 3 day, so Wednesday it'll be half of the day, all day Thursday, and then part of the day Friday. Wednesday and Friday are similar, you don't have to go to both. But because of the distance, I was hoping that you guys would be okay, and no exposure to it, that we could stay for both of them, if that's okay. With that, without having, very much experience, I'd like to bring Kelsey. It is mandatory for at least one of us. So I would like to see if you guys are okay with me closing the office for those 3 days while we are in Bismarck for training.
Okay,
It's a Wednesday,
right after our first meeting, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
Can we have the phone relay to somebody else in case they
I don't know.
used to do that?
Forwarded.
And once that office was closed, we always tried to forward it to another office to answer.
What, and I was wondering, would Chris maybe be available so we didn't have to close as many
Oh.
days?
All of it,
So
I
that
can
we
look into
could-
it, yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with closing if we have to, but let's exhaust our other options
Yeah,
first.
and I figured, of course, emails and stuff I would do after, you
Right.
know what I mean, in the
Yep.
evenings or whatever, I'll follow up with
Maybe you
it,
could
but.
check with Tammy or somebody else there that, you know, if you can,
Okay.
at least if there's something important, so the phone gets answered.
Okay, I will be, I will,
Can you guys roll the phones, like, if she's on, can you roll the phone?
I can route it to my cell phone. I don't know about inter-office, so we'd have to check with this phone.
Okay,
okay, we'll look into it and I'll give you guys an update next meeting.
okay.
Okay,
Okay, thanks, Christie. Okay, we will go with the water board.
Okay,
Morning.
I wanna go through I think you have, I'll have a copy of it, of the raised,
Of a new one that you gave us?
yeah,
Okay, yep,
the newest one.
Yep.
I think she brought that up here this morning.
So this is not what was in our packet then.
it's a streamline of it.
The one on your packet is old.
Okay,
The newest one,
okay.
and you delivered that this morning.
This morning.
Yeah. You got the-
so some of them haven't even had a chance to go through it.
Yeah.
But
There
we'll go through,
there was just one mistake.
okay, we'll just go through it with you, Larry.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, these are all the projects that we did over the years and stuff like that since we've been, whatever the situation is, but, we'll start up at the top, drain 87. That's the one, the big one west of Graff and goes from the Park River all the way west. That one, that's the township bridge, no, that's the township bridge, 145th Avenue Northeast on Drain 87. That's the one that Jason, right, that you put in last summer, last spring, or last fall.
Yeah.
So total of that project was 138,626.11. So we divided that out to 60-40%, 83,000 to the Walsh County Water Board and 55,000 to the Highway Department.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Yep.
Yep. When you go through these, Larry, would you please like give us just a little bit information where it is? I mean, drain 145th, if there's a name for the bridge, where it's at, just approximate.
That's just south of Dushik's.
Okay.
A mile to the east and a mile or 3/4 mile south of South Trinity Church.
Okay,
That one we had to close right during the harvest.
harvest, yeah, okay,
And then last summer we replaced it with
okay,
with culverts. And the culverts were spread out enough that it's no longer a bridge.
okay. Okay,
Okay, then we go to the drain 87, that's that big drain, 15,000 acre one. And
And that is basically goes back to the construction of the drain, not anything new.
yeah, is the construction. So they got the total cost of project was $2,282,000. The state water commission paid $1,027,4526. So the remaining cost out of that is $1,255,277.53. So you divide that out, $73,666.52 to the water board and to drain 87 and 502.11 to the county highway department.
Madam Chairman?
Yep.
yes.
If you want to accept it.
Larry, they're giving direction to let me know if they want to go.
Following the rules. Is this, I assume this is the one that we've been discussing for a long time.
Right, yeah, they basically, these all are,
These all are. So there's nothing new there. This is all.
there's some new ones that all point out, but there's somebody that, we're all in that same tier.
So when we say construction of the drain, we're not just talking cost of the culverts then, you're talking.
The
the
additional
construction
cost
of
is
the drain.
the construction to
When this price is when you do a box culvert, whatever material, and to put that culvert in, the box culvert in, that's what they're paying for. Nothing on the, like, if you're digging down the drain or the mile, you don't pay for that, just when you cross the township road or something like that. But
It's just for the construction and the cost of the culvert. in
yeah,
that area,
and the material,
And the material.
Gravel, whatever.
Okay,
whatever goes underneath the bid to get back to a accessible road, that's what you're paying for. Okay.
thank you.
Okay, drain 31 project, this is the new one. This is out by, north of Warsaw, County Road number 4. This one was just, finished up, last year, last fall, basically, when we seeded the ground. So with that one, $47,367 was the initial cost after the city water commission paid their share. So you divide that out of $28,435.07 to the water board and $18,956 to the county highway department. This is that, am I right? This is the bridge, right? Selma?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, this is the bridge that if you know where Gary Chelton is on 63, so we didn't change the bridge. All we did is we have to rock underneath the bridge to deepen it and so that he wouldn't erode the wing walls out and stuff like that. So that's what that cost is. Now, the next one is the same way as the new one. That's, that house, crosses County Road number 4 by Sioux Field, if you know she lives out on number 4. And now these culverts are all at the same level and they're all sized right according like, and so. State Water Commission paid $38,518.70, so the initial cost. Net cost was $47,078.40. You divide that out between the water board and the county highway department, so you got the water board paid $28,247.04. And the Wallace County Highway Department paid $18,831.36.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I learned something on this one, that when the engineers, they're wrong. And then they gotta change it, the water board nuts are on the hook. If they've made a mistake. I never knew that, and I said, you know, it's just, you pay them all this money, and if they make a mistake, now we gotta go lower culverts and everything else, and it's their cost and our cost. Nothing we can do about it. So, just to inform you a little bit.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Well,
I had several instances like that over the years where engineering firm made a mistake and you gotta go back and correct it and redo it.
and that's why I wanna inform you, I was totally caught off guard when I found out.
Okay, the next one is, basically, I think on drain, 31-2, it's on 67th Street, that's, would be south of Gary Feldman's yard. And there was a bridge in there, we took it out and put a box culvert in there. So the total cost was out of the $85,597.10. The State Water Commission paid $38,518.70. You know, a net figure of $47,078.40, so they divided that out, 18,000 to the highway department and 28,000 to the water board.
That is culvert work. That kind of ends there, actually, but just.
Now, let me go through this.
yeah, it's okay.
It's 157th Avenue Northeast, and I can't place where that is.
That's
But
okay.
it's, $10,200, they paid $4,590. 5610.
It's that one, Mary Bird Ramp through the channel, 157,
Okay.
Bird Ramp, at the bridge.
Yeah.
Existing bridge.
So that was, $3,666 to the water board and $2,044 to the highway department. Okay, Drain 28 project, that was, south of Warsaw. Drain 28 goes up to number 4, and then it goes another half mile west from the, where this intersection with some culverts there. And they were rusted out, and we put in, I think, 3 to 2 culverts that we put in there. And that was done over a year ago. The total cost of that project was $30,597.78. So you got $18,358.67 for the water board and $12,239.11 for the highway department. Okay, go to the next page. This is some FEMA work we did on, up by, north of Barry Kingsbury, it's probably about a half mile north of there on the intersection. When the water comes from Pembina County and washed out this, took this whole culvert, washed it all out, so. We got FEMA funds on that, so when we get all said and done, paid for that, got it all put back in place the way it was. $29,489.79 was the net figure. So you divide that out to $17,693 for the water, $87 for the water board, and $11,795.92 for the health department. And this was frame 71, that was what you're talking about, is we had the engineer do a drainage project. And we got all said and done, it did drain some of the properties and were drained, so we had to go back in. And back and assess, and we saved up enough for a few years so we could do the drain, because the culverts weren't designed right. And they weren't put low enough, so we had to go back and dig ditch. And what we did on this one, we added on to that, the culvert, we didn't change the culvert, we just had to lower, and we have to add a link on and rock it into that one. So that's that Drain 71 project, that's where those two culverts worked on. 77 and 152nd Avenue and 77 and 151 Avenue. So a total of that came to 17,202.37. Divide that out to 10,331, $321.42 to the water board and 6,895 to the highway department. Drain 97 is up by, Challenge, right?
Yes.
Along Highway 32, south of 17.
Yeah. And we replaced, they took that bridge out and we replaced that bridge with culvert. So the total cost of that was $56,702.88. And the water board paid $34,173 and the highway department $22,681.15. Now, just below that, you got bridge removed, so the highway department removed that bridge. So they paid $67,000 on, I think they paid it, am I correct, you paid it all?
They paid it all.
So then we'll just divide that out, and we owe that part to you. There's 40,236 of the water board and 26,824.06 back to the highway fund, but then you get your money back on that deal, because we did it all. This is another one, Drain 98, bridge replacement. That's one LB.
This is the Voss Bridge that was just finished.
Yeah.
Where the state paid for
Right, Barclay.
for the aluminum Voss culvert.
Yeah.
But the water board reminded us that they were responsible for the cost share and engineering on that project.
So by the, south of Barclays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just north of Barclays.
Yeah. That's another aluminum box culvert that they put in there. So the total cost of that project was $455,308.19. Net figure was down with, 33,528.29, so to divide that out, 20,116.97 for the water board and 13,411.32. So when you get down to the bottom, the net figure is 205,245.57.
Anybody have any questions for Larry? Comments? Danny, sorry.
Just to be clear on all of these drains, that's assessed back to the people in that drain.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. I got questions about that on taxes.
No, there will be anything that we get, you get back.
Yeah.
So like I have to feed it back to those things that we get and pay that. And not to be mean or anything like that or be forward, but you have to catch up.
Yeah.
Because we got number 2, we're on drain 22, we're gonna be putting that in the summer, and you're gonna get farther and farther behind. I hate to say that, but that's just the realm of the thing, where it's gonna be. You have to catch up.
Well, Madam Chairman.
Yes.
I just have a comment on that, Larry. I thought we had asked you guys to bring the bills in so we could stay current, and the only one that we were disputing was that one back to the 200,000, back to the drain 87. So we've had this discussion before, right? And we asked you guys to bring the bills up to us. Am I
Yeah,
mistaken?
I presented all those bills to you before.
So these are all old ones and they were never paid except for the 200,000. I know that one we were,
None of these were paid.
why weren't they paid if they were presented?
I presented them to you early. I got the deal right on my desk. I can bring.
We got them up here, but we never made a motion to pay them because we wanted to get all this settled. Cause look what happened here, all of a sudden there was a 40,000 and a 20, and we never knew anything about it. And thank God we waited, we got that, found out that, that was before Jason's time here.
That's
They were
not what
never
I
charged up.
remember.
Yeah, it was summer or something.
Yeah.
No, I did it before.
Yeah, they were. Cause you gave us the list and they were sort of 15,000, 16,000 or whatever, and then we sort of,
I didn't present it in this form,
right.
but I presented all the bills from like 71 on all those, and these were all presented to each of these over a year ago.
And part of that, I think we were still sort of waiting for the rulings.
Yeah, correct.
Legal.
Chris, the oldest one on here is drain 87,
Mhm.
but otherwise, the other ones are only basically in the last year.
Yes,
Yeah, I can't tell that from the sheet when they're,
Oh, I can get you the date when we did it.
Yeah.
On the date,
yeah.
I
Well, you just said these were all old, so I'm like thinking these are 2-3 years old, but so they all are within the last year except the one for the $200.
except that big one.
Yes, Amy.
This is a lot of information to take in, right? I wish we would have had it ahead of time, because I did review yours that came ahead of time in the agenda, but this is nothing like what we got in the agenda, so.
if you wanna meet with me again, call me back up in 2 weeks and I'll come back up. If you want to digest it.
Ernie and I discussed all of this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, last week, wasn't it, or 2 weeks? Well, whatever, yeah.
We met with them and went over all of this information.
And I guess we both come out of there feeling,
And Jason knows that we tried to make things right with any other projects we work on.
like I said, they were
I
forward with this, and those two we didn't charge out, and we found out about them, and we went through the bills, and I don't know, I left there comfortable and thought we had a good deal, and
If you look on,
Okay, hold on. Because we have people listening online, and I'm not trying to be hard-headed, but people can't hear when everybody's talking, okay? And there's probably people listening today, maybe because of this, I'm not sure, but let's just one at a time, okay? Amy,
Well, I appreciate this. This is well done and organized, so I'm thankful for that. And I guess there's a part where we need to be current, absolutely. But you know, I look at some of these even on the back and we overpaid. I mean, there was some payments done that were overpaid. So is there a time frame, you know, that's reasonable to get these paid, but yet if we overpay on them, you know, they're like 40,000 on that one that was done, you know, for things to average out a little bit too, so that we're not.
that's all been minus though.
I agree, because when you really look at drain 87, if you look at what's owed, it's pretty much that is what's left over still, right?
Minus.
I mean, everything else has averaged out over the years, so it's just getting that one finalized, but I appreciate this.
thank you, Amy. Jason?
The one bridge that we had done where the county staff had removed it and replaced that was done right before I started. So that was lost in the translation between my start and Sharon's departure, where that number got billed out or changed. Water board are the ones that brought that to my attention, that they hadn't done that.
Which one are you talking about?
It's on drain 97.
that 40,000 one.
The $40,000.
Well, below that.
We would pay.
Actually,
They did it, we paid them back, because we owed them that.
a bridge removed in the fall of 23 and replaced. That's the latest one, was 56,702, the total project. Well, the one that was done in 21, actually 2 years before that, by the county, Jason looked up what his costs were at that time. It was 67,000. So, I guess, and that's the one we said, we owe that.
Yeah.
But that's. And the other project was done by a private contract.
Danny,
Where do we get the money from?
Jason,
Prairie Dog have enough over right now to make it up and be done. Prairie Dog funds can go to this. I had enough left over after the paving projects that we can use the Prairie Dog fund. Being used for bridges and culverts, it is an allowable funding source.
And that's why we sort of wanted to meet with Jason and them, because Jason sort of treated me, he says, we'd like to get it done so we can know what we got left in that prairie dog and everything else, so that's why we sort of got together and, I don't know, I think Danny, I think you feel good about it. I do. I don't know about you guys, but I would make a motion, we pay this bill.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Well, I'd just like so that we make sure in the future going forward now, we've got this cleaned up and we see these bills timely because I'm not, you did bring them in, you said, I assume they had been paid, I guess I was wrong. But we need to get on top of this.
We will, I mean, the relationship that we have with Jason is a lot better, we discuss it a lot more, so he knows and we know what's going on.
So we try to let him know, here's something coming, like with train 31, he knew that was our precious. The other stuff is FEMA, some of it, and that was that, you know, as a disaster.
Right, I mean, this year we have prairie dog funds, what if we didn't have those, Chief?
I know.
We'd be in big trouble.
Yep. You had something else, Denny? Because we need to move
Well,
along.
part of the conflict was conflicting century code.
Yep.
And that's why we kept putting this back, and that kind of got it cleared up. Yeah.
No other reason why they were all occasionally.
Yeah. That's why we just kind of pushing this down the road until we get it figured out.
And I would like to thank the Waterburn and also include, I think we got a good relationship there more often, and I think things are gonna be spot on now. So, because of all this happening at once in Century Code, it just took a while. I try to go to the meetings with Jason when there's something in the county, and the relationship there is good, and I think this moving forward, we're gonna be in a good spot. Yeah.
Okay, any more discussion?
Part of it, to what Larry responded on, all of these drains are gonna require maintenance and upkeep, all of these bridges.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I got called about, well, when do these specials go off on the taxes, and the answer is probably never.
Yeah.
Because it just takes that much money to maintain these bridges, and it's gonna be an ongoing expense, and I'm glad you guys are on top of it.
Well, I mean, you take a look at number 9 and number 4, that bridge went out, that's gonna be a cost to be on the drain, I have to participate on that deal, so. It just is ongoing, I'm telling you, it just doesn't quit.
Well, if we want to drive on our bridges and roads, we have to upkeep them and we have to pay for it. I mean, when we get calls like that, who do they think is gonna, we're driving on them, we have to
Well, part
pay
of
for
the problem is that the landowners don't realize that.
And just so everybody.
They don't drive on them because they don't live here, but they
Yeah.
own the land and
Well,
take their
that's,
money away.
somebody could
Yeah,
set
but
that up.
we're trying to assess more so we can get money built up in the funds. So that we got money, so if something happens, we can take it out of the fund and pay for this stuff. Otherwise, we only got $10,000 and this cost of $50,000 or $60,000 and you gotta get a way to get money out of it, just the way you do it.
Yeah, and just so everybody understands, and you explained a little bit that we are only obligated what's under the bridge, not the drain.
Right.
The county.
Yeah.
So just so everybody understands that, we just pay what's under the bridge, nothing to do with the, the
Yeah.
rest of the drain.
Where would we be without state or FEMA?
Okay, let's take the vote now because, we haven't even voted on it and we're way behind and I want to be respectful to other people's, schedules. So we'll take the vote on to pay for the, drains for the water resource. Denny,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Christie,
Yeah,
Ernie.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion carried. And then what was this for?
That's just that's, detail on drain 30.
Okay,
It goes with the cost breakdown.
okay,
Yeah. well,
thank you very much. I don't mean to be abrupt, but.
thank you.
Hold on 1 minute, Stacy. Ed, do you need to go before Stacy? You work,
I would appreciate it just because I got that.
okay, because I know that Ed has a Zoom meeting and I don't think it'll take too long. Is that okay with you, Stacy?
Much choice.
Okay.
First time he gets to walk through the door first.
Before you.
He's making supper tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good morning. An update on, in December, I believe it was, I came before you and presented some information on the grant opportunity for House Bill 1225.
to get our assessment information and GIS maps available on one site. Did apply for the grant and it has been approved through phase one. So I included the estimate, I believe, in the packet of, it's a 5-year contract to sign, the initial fee up front, and then a 5-year license fee. So our first year cost, which the grant will cover in full, is $55,380.50. Once they get it up and running, we would have to pay that and then submit that bill for reimbursement through the grant. And then there is a possibility that there will be a second phase to this grant in June that might pay our second year service fee of another $2,887.50. Not guaranteed, but there is a possibility for that. So I guess I'm asking today for your approval for myself and Chairman Anderson to sign the 5-year contract with Vanguard and utilize these grant funds that have been approved.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Any more questions for Ed on the Vanguard grant update?
Good work, thank you for.
Appreciate you getting that grant.
Okay, I'll take the roll call vote. Christie?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Danny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Myself, yes, motion approved.
All right, just to remind everybody that next Tuesday is our next department head meeting. And I did include Christie and Chairman Anderson with that information. And then also, I am today at 10 o'clock, the interim taxation committee is discussing the study for the potential exemption for ag storage facilities in city limits. I'm on the schedule to do some presenting and answering questions during, I believe we're scheduled from 10 to 12:30 today, so.
Madam Chairman, is any updater from your perspective on how things are going with the homeowner taxation with applying and?
So we've had lots of questions. It sounds like everything's going fairly smoothly, for the real estate tax stuff. We're hoping people are applying and it sounds like they are statewide. The biggest issue for our office and probably the treasurer's office is gonna be those that are in mobile homes. Their tax bills already went out in December for 2024. They're gonna qualify for this primary residence credit if they apply, so we're gonna have to go back and either refund money or adjust bills. The timing is not good for mobile homes, but it is what it is.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Okay, Stacy.
Good morning. So I have a couple of things to go through with you today, should both be in your packets. First is the self-help program. That's a county program that has been in existence for some time to help communities with community betterment projects. So it's an annual program, and in your packets is the information about it for the 23 program. So we're always kind of a year behind with this program. So yeah, it's been in existence since 1998. The regional council had previously administered it. Last year we transitioned to the JDA, but it still ends up being me. But the program criteria include that the request can't exceed 1/2 of the total project costs, and then the request can't exceed $1,500. They have to match the county funds 1-to-1. They have to decide at a meeting what they're going to apply for, and it can be used for any sort of community betterment project. So the 23 program, we received 9 requests for projects totaling more than $50,000. And the attached chart shows you what cities are applying for. And so the total request is more than $12,000 from the county. Typically Walsh County is awarded between $750 and $1,000 to cities, regardless of the requests. And so then I also included that historical chart, which shows what you've done annually. So once you determine the amount for these awards for the 23 program, we'll send out notices to the cities about how to seek their reimbursement, and then we'll also be sending out notices for the 24 program, which they'll have till December of 24 to apply. So just looking for a motion on how much you would like to award to the cities.
I would make a motion that we award the $1,000 to the cities for the self-help program, Jim.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion?
Madam Chairman, I would just say too, as we go along, are there more, I mean, I'm looking at the past and in general, it looks like there's more and more interest or.
It's sort of, I mean, there's always ones that don't respond, the same ones always don't respond, and it's sort of, I don't know, convolved back and forth. It's about the same, I would say, normally overall. Just that sometimes one city falls off, but another one comes on, so it's usually around, the same number, total number.
Yeah, I think it's a great program and cost don't go down, so it's nice to be able to help a little.
Anything more? Hearing none, I'll take the roll call vote. Denny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Christie?
Yes.
Bernie?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion carried. Okay.
But I also wanted to give you an update on the Walsh County Career Village program, and I brought some extra brochures. They're in your packet too, but I'm hoping you will, take some and help distribute them. So we just felt it was maybe timely to come back and give an update on what this program is if you're not familiar. So what it is basically is, well, the Walsh County Career Village program provides matching funds, for leveraging the North Dakota Career Village program for scholarship and loan repayment. Basically it's for a improvement tool, or essentially for employers to use to attract and retain employees. Potentially an applicant is eligible for up to $17,000 in either scholarship or loan repayment. It could be scholarship on the front end and loan repayment on the back end or both. So that info doc and it's also in the pamphlet there. Basically how it works is, an applicant has to make a 3-year commitment to the employer. The job has to be in Walsh County, but the employee has to be a North Dakota resident. The employer matches, the career village, or if they qualify for the North Dakota Career Village program, matches up to $42.50 over 3 years. Basically, the Walsh County portion of this helps reduce the employer match. Payments are made over a 3-year period, they're paid quarterly. To be eligible for the $17,000, the occupation has to be on the state's high need or emerging list, which that's the list here that's included in your packet. So anything on that list is eligible for up to the $17,000. There's more than 150 occupations on that list, so it's quite extensive. How the Walsh County section or portion is funded is through a partnership with the city of Grafton, the city of Park River, and then the JDA. The JDA committed for 5 years to match the total amount that those two cities would contribute. So this began in late 22 with an $80,000 pool, 40,000 from the JDA, 25 from Grafton, and 15 from Park River. An example, that table at the bottom of that handout shows you like what it would look like for a potential applicant. So if they're in the emerging or high demand list, the Walsh County Career Village would pay the $42.50. The employer pays $42.50 over 3 years, and the North Dakota Career Village program pays $8,500. So without the Walsh County portion, the employer match would be $8,500. Basically, stays the two. But the Walsh County program also will support employees that are not in the non-emerging or high demand, so they would be eligible for up to $8,500 then. This program is sort of overseen by a board of directors, which includes representation from both Grafton and Park River. And we have an education representative, which is Mike Hansen, and Christie's on from the commissioners, and then myself as the secretary, treasurer. So the backside of that handout shows how the Walsh County program has been doing. As I mentioned, it started in September of 22. This data is through the end of 23. So in that time, there are 23 job placements. So there's 23 applicants utilizing this program. One was scholarship. They're in the healthcare industry. The other 22 are in loan repayment. And then that chart shows you the categories, the employer categories. So education has been a significant user of this program, but we've also had healthcare, financial, as well as skilled trade, information technology, and sales. As far as the Walsh County contribution from the program, 13 of the 22 in loan repayment have been eligible for the full $17,000. $3,600 basically is the average Walsh County Career Builders commitment. The maximum would be $42.50. And then at the bottom there, I just included some comments from employers that are utilizing the program. It's been very successful, obviously. And then the last, on the side there, I wanted to kind of show in retrospect, or in, perspective of how Welsh County is doing in the state, which is quite impactful when you think of it in those terms. So Welsh County ranks fourth in the state in gaining employees, ability to match jobs. Behind only the urban counties of Cass, Burley, and Grand Forks, which you would expect them to have more applicants. So it's been significantly successful. One other thing I would like to note too about that is, Welsh County's program, all 23 of those came on once the Welsh County for Village program came on in September of 22, whereas those numbers on that chart are from when North Dakota for Village started, which was in 2019. So they're already like 2 years ahead, and Welsh County still is in fourth. So, we also, a few things, so this is as of December. We're now at 27th. We've had 4 more added since, and we're getting February. And there's potentially 2 scholarship applicants that will be coming on in the 3rd quarter of this year. They're in the dental, will hopefully be accepted in the dental hygiene program at NDSCS. So there's an employer in Welsh County already ready to employ them. So yeah, so with all that initial pool of $80,000, there's only $100 left that isn't uncommitted because this has been so successful. So, when we started the program, we asked each of the partners to commit to 5 years, that amount for 5 years. And obviously now we're going back and saying, okay, we're ready for the next installment of that because it's been so successful. So, I just wanted to give you guys an update on that, since this is a program that is utilizing, some of the JDA funds, that you allocate to the JDA, and that's how they're being used. There are, I believe, 3 county employees, Welsh County employees utilizing this program as well, so. But a note about that, so if someone's in the loan repayment program, their student loans don't have to be related to the position they're taking if they're in the high demand, so it could be completely unrelated. And it goes by job description, not job title. So as long as the job description includes the verbiage that's on that high demand list, they're eligible, so. So, and I was thinking too, if you have a department head meeting coming up, this would be, most people are aware of it, but it'd be great if these get kind of out again, sure. Just so that anyone who's looking to recruit employees, make sure that they think about this as an option to mention when they're trying to hire someone, so.
Any questions?
I didn't realize it, but I was gonna ask you, and I found it here that the applicant must make a 3-year commitment to the employer.
Correct. We don't have anything to do with that, that's between the employer and employee, but yes, they're required to make the 3-year commitment. So someone potentially could be, in the program, and basically the Career Village will pay out for 3 years or until their loan runs out, but obviously most people with loan, their commitment again, when they run beyond 3 years, so.
Good program.
And then by then, our hope is that we've done our job and can get people to stay, like they've been here 3 years and, they're vested, so.
Well, thank you for the update, Stacy.
Yeah.
It is a great program.
Nice work on the program.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Okay, well, Brent is next.
Bless you.
Morning.
So the first item on my list was this pickup again. You had asked about some used pickup prices, so I reached out to the vendors in Walsh County that sell pickups. Hanson's is supposedly putting something together, but they haven't got it back to me yet. This is from D&B out of Langdon, but it's through Bob Lundquist in Park River. He's got a little shop in Park River that's a son of D&D out of Langdon, and then Minto didn't get back to me. And these are just he just sent me some of the examples of vehicles they have on their lot that are available and what kind of prices would be on those. As far as the second page, the 22 Chevy, the 6.2 V8 is 42,000 miles, 52,000, would probably be a fairly decent pickup, or on the back page.
Wait.
Yeah,
Second page for 42,000?
I think or they didn't copy in the same order that I did,
52,000.
the 2022 one,
For how
on
much?
on the bottom of the page.
I got three of them for 52.
I got 3 for 52,000.
Yeah, so the bottom one.
42,000 miles.
42,000 miles.
Oh, that you said
42,000
dollars.
miles.
Oh,
No,
okay.
$52,000, 42,000 miles. The 6.2, it's just a bigger engine, so it's a little more power if I end up pulling something, but not, I mean, I've never had one that way, it was on the list, and then the two that are the 2001s would be the cheapest and the most basic vehicles.
And they're from,
The 2000.
Well, they'd be out at
21.
2021, sorry, the back page. So they're from, it'd be through Bob, but it's
Okay,
DMV out
yeah.
of Langdon that actually.
same thing, all these three
Yeah,
pages.
all of these are all from there, yes.
Okay.
Hanson's is supposed to be putting something together, but they have not got it to me yet, and Minto did not get back to me at all, so.
Why don't we just wait till we get something from Hanson's? Just to give them a shot. These are good prices, but I just feel like.
So, yeah,
I-
I mean, and I guess I don't know what, the other sheet that I put on there is, that would be the procurement for like a state out of and they're about, the basic for that is at about $46,000 plus, but then that. Like if you look at like when Ron got it to me and there's no auto start on them, so you add that and you add a few other things, so you'd probably be in that $50,000 range for. By the time you get done adding a couple of basic things to it.
And where's that bid from?
Well, that would be through the procurement process, through like that Nelson Auto,
Okay, that-
This is a 23 or 24?
that would be a 24.
24.
And I haven't gotten an exact, because I didn't know what we were gonna look at a used one or what we were gonna do, so I haven't asked them for a formal bid, but that's. The price is on their sheet, that's the base price anyway, so.
Okay, so that was gonna be my question, Madam Chairman.
Yes,
Are you able to get used through the state procurement process? Can you get used vehicles?
Not a used one, no,
So-
no.
No, can you get used from, say, like, within our own county, like when the sheriff's department trades a vehicle, could we do something there? My concern here is, why are we, I understand that you were asked to get, bids or prices on used vehicles, but we're looking at heated and cooled seats and heated steering wheels and this is kind of, I guess I would consider plush. When we've got our deputies driving around in the bare bone vehicles that use them all day and your vehicles is sitting in a lot to be used on occasion. Why would we wanna pay for kind of the fluff in a vehicle, I guess is how I would look at it. Why wouldn't we be looking at more of a bare bones vehicle? Why do we need all this?
Are you talking about these first?
Yeah,
Because those are used.
Well,
well, I know they're used
But they're
vehicles.
ordered down there. So.
But pretty
Why-
much,
why
pretty much,
would
you know.
Why would we pay for heated seats, all these additions, you pay for it, whether it's in a new vehicle or a used vehicle, but yet we have our sheriff and our deputies driving around in state vehicles that have their bare bones. So I guess that's my question, is why would we go this route on Brent's vehicle versus, why can't we look for a state vehicle that's used?
on state bids, there's no, they don't give used, I mean, you could probably look somewhere else probably, but,
I have a question, kind of,
okay, well, yep, Ron.
There's a state auction almost every year.
Yep.
State
Oh, for
vehicles,
that,
so,
yes, yes,
Used state vehicles. So there is that opportunity. And lots of agencies take advantage of that.
I guess that would be my preference, that we look at something like that if we're gonna go used.
But a lot of those on the state auction are ones that are coming like from me, who are 100,000+ miles already.
yeah,
You know,
When I looked through.
they're using, I mean, they're old state highway
Yes,
department
they're all-
vehicles and HP or whoever, I mean,
Yeah.
they're run up for, I mean, we can look, it doesn't matter to me, but I'm just saying, those are usually very high mileage, they've been the government agency is getting rid of them for a reason.
They're highly used.
They're highly used,
And what's your mileage right now on yours again?
150 plus, a little bit over 150 someplace.
Amy, did you have a question?
I know, I just feel like this is, we've talked about this so much, and I just. Can someone or Brent, just, why are we just not getting or one of the ones from the state procurement, like? Remind me why we're not, I feel like Ron comes and he has them and we approve them, like, why is that just not the process we're doing with this pickup?
Because it's not used as much, it's sitting in the parking lot and.
So is there
Totally
another,
different usage.
is there another department that that does use it more, like you said, Christie, you know, this Jason's pickup is there another department that needs to be replaced that we could?
Swap.
Yes, like utilize that or someone that's coming up to a point where they use it all the time. Just so we can be done with it.
Well, and I mean, until this past year, I wasn't using it all the time. You know, that was where it's all. So I guess I don't know where that's, you know, if it's saying that, so the last meeting I came up, I said if the commission's decision is that if it's gonna sit in the parking lot. Until I need to take it out for a weed job or for flooding, then you really wanna invest in a brand new pickup to just sit in the parking lot. So that's where they said to look for the used ones. So, but if you're gonna look at a used one, 99.9% of them out here are going to have heated seat. I mean, that's just a standard feature in a vehicle anymore. It costs you more to order it without it sometimes than it does to order it with it here, because that's just the way they order it. And I'm not saying that's what I need. I mean, I don't care I don't have a heated seat now. I don't care one way or the other. It's just. But if you're gonna go look at the lots, you're gonna have a harder time trying to find anything that doesn't have some of those features.
Well, I guess my preference would be if we're going to use, we look for more of a bare bones vehicle than. And there's gotta be some out there, doesn't it?
So.
Not very many.
There, yes.
Everybody orders them with everything
You
on them.
know, so that, on this last sheet, this 2021 white one for $35,000 with 27,000 miles. And I haven't seen any of the, and it says it has black cloth heated seats and spray bed liner.
That's it.
But that's probably as cheap and it's less mileage as you're going to get any place. Yeah, you know, I mean, I don't, you know, most of the ones sitting on these lots, when I go on the line and look, I mean, most of them are sitting with 80 to 120,000 miles. You know, and I mean, they're still, you know, the one on the front sheet that he gave me here, this Chevy High Country, no, I don't need a Chevy High Country. I mean, that's.
If you look at my pickup, it's a 21 and I got 105,000. Look at that one for 35,000. 27,000 miles. I thought, because, you know, I put a lot of miles, but I'm just comparing, it's hard to find something that 2 years old with just 27,000 miles on it. And anytime you look at something on the lots, the dealers order them in this way now. Really, you know, so a lot of guys, like, hey, I'll order mine, but the dealers order all these heated seats and.
Well, I mean, they're just 90% of what they're dealing with, is that's what they're coming with.
Because the customers want it, and that's why they order it.
Danny,
So contemplating to purchase one. When do we?
50,000.
50,000?
Through Hampton,
Yeah, brand new one.
$15,000? 50.
But bare phone.
But it does have still heated seat and heated steering wheel, come standard.
Yeah, it's just an LP model.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and see, and I asked Hampton to give me a price on a new one for just a basic LT, but
Have you checked with, Maxwell Motors in,
Michigan.
they got a lot of stuff there.
well, I'm still to the point, why do we even need to trade this pickup in?
Well,
I'm just asking that question. Danny,
because he doesn't use it enough to keep the battery charged,
well,
or the tires. That's got 150,000 miles.
Oh, yeah, it's got 150,000, so either, I mean, I can keep driving it, but I don't know when something's gonna go major with it. I mean, it's.
For an emergency vehicle, it's not reliable enough to.
well, what do you do if you don't drive a vehicle quite as often as you do something with the battery? Do you unhook it? I'm just asking these questions.
You could put tender on it, but that would mean plugging it in at a building someplace and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else wants to talk?
Amy, Madam Chairman, you had budgeted this, you budgeted a certain amount, right? Like you had it in your budget last year?
I've had it in for like the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that third page of that 2021 one with 27,000 miles, that would, with him using it less, would get us by for probably several years.
Yeah.
Okay, then here's my question. If that's gonna sit there, then is the battery gonna go dead? If it's not gonna be used?
Well,
Same thing.
that's a potential, I mean, it's just, it happened once where I had to boost it, I mean, I've been trying to be better at making sure that I go at least start it and let it run for a while and let it. You know, and I mean, and it depends on, I mean, like. January and February, I don't travel as much as, you know, which are the colder months, so that's it's harder on the battery, you know, when it gets to be. More into the spring, or, you know. Begin the flood season, then I usually have it around more often and I'm using it more and, you know, same in the summer, I'm doing weed stuff, so I'm using it more, so it's getting used on a regular.
There's no way you can get it in that garage out there, is there?
On our building? No, not, the one stall that belongs to us is packed full of public health and other stuff, and the other, Ron got the other 4 stalls, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's,
Okay, what do we wanna do?
I still have a question.
Yes,
Ron, what can you get a brand new vehicle for? They said 50,000, the state procurement,
Whatever on that state procurement.
that's 46,000.
That's,
yeah, roughly that $46,000, someplace in there.
And we're sure that if we look at the auction, that everything's gonna be such high mileage that it's not. Have you looked at the auction ever, Ron?
I have, I think that there are vehicles with high mileage, but the High Patrol usually gets rid of some of their vehicles at 80,000, it just depends on the vehicle, I guess, and the department, so, there are some with high mileage, yeah.
and how much would those go for probably? Have you ever seen?
The 80,000
Yeah.
mile pickup, I don't know off the top of my head,
Would they go for 35,000?
I would say less than that, but
Maybe a little bit, but I mean, we're not looking at 80,000 mile vehicles here either.
No, I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
comparing the price. Why would we get a vehicle with 80,000 miles on it when we can get one for 27,000 miles on it for 35,000?
I don't know if you'll find a better pickup with that one with the 27,000 miles for 35,000. That's a pretty good price.
Yes, Amy.
There is something to be said when you do the, you know, play the devil's advocate, that you get something used, you always have the chance that there could be something that you're now dealing with and fixing for more, so. You know, if the state, that's the other question, state procurement bid is 46, so 11,000 more. To start with a newer vehicle with a warranty and whatever else, I mean.
The other advantage of dealing locally is that they'll take the current pickup as trade, whereas through the state procurement, then you have to. Either sell it outright or, I don't know, Ron, someplace, he's got someplace where you can take vehicles and get, you know, I mean, you can get, but you're. But I mean, you can, I mean, that's the process of.
And you've looked at both of these vehicles on the back page there?
I have not looked at any of them. He just sent them to me and he said, then if there was something that I was interested in, he would look at my pickup as a, you know, to get a trade price on it and then we could.
Well, I hate to make a decision here when you haven't even looked at a pickup.
And we don't have the trade price.
So,
How do we?
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I would say, look at this 21 with the 27,000 miles and see if you can get Hanson to give you another bid and then go from there. If Hanson don't get you a bid, then I guess if you like this pickup, we can make a decision.
well, and it's, like I said, it's spending most of its time sitting in parking, it's just a vehicle, it's just something, but I need something to use at times, so.
I got about guarantee that this one won't be here in a month or 2 weeks.
Probably won't, it's a good price on it, yeah.
I mean, I can, you know, probably. meet-
How long ago did you ask Hanson, and does it take them weeks to get back to you? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I don't, I normally deal with Peter, which I know he just had a new grandbaby, so I don't know if he's been out or gone, or, but I don't know, cause I asked him like over a week ago Friday, so I mean, he said well over a week to put something together.
Well, I guess I like Kirby's idea of,
Get a hold of somebody and need to tell me you need a quote within the next couple of days or else we're gonna make a decision. I mean, if they don't wanna get back to you, it's not our fault. Right?
Well, right, but then how do we make the decision whether to buy it or not?
Well, once he looks at it, get it up here, bring him to look at it, and then in the meantime, at least if you give him a verbal, he'll take it. We can finalize it at the next meeting.
Just for them?
We don't even know what the trade-in value is.
Well, that's what I mean.
well, will it matter what the trade-in value is? I don't.
The price will go lower.
It is what it is, the value is what it is.
Mine's 2013.
$5,000-6,000.
So are we gonna keep acquiring the sheriff's office then to go through the procurement bid, or are we gonna allow them to go locally too?
It's different vehicles, but sure.
Yeah.
One of the issues was, I mean, the sheriff, I mean, they can't get the law enforcement package necessarily through the local vendor, so,
Right.
but
I think we're getting a good deal when we're going through Nelson's, so, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I don't
We don't
care.
want him to get a new vehicle, so,
So if you want, I mean, if you want me to go through Nelson's and get a brand new vehicle for $50,000 instead, that
yeah,
doesn't
that's
have,
the only thing.
you know, it doesn't matter to me. I mean,
They're getting the new ones and we're getting,
No, I understand the process.
yeah,
you know,
okay, well,
I'll see if I can work with them, yes.
okay. Let's move on then to next item.
Okay. Next item is this safety director thing. I think I sent you the letter that the clerk sent me. Where they want me to do quarterly trainings. I guess I'm just out, I guess I'm trying to decide, is this a new position that I now hold, or that and what you want me to do, and is there any funds with it, and what is expected out of it, and. This was, from my understanding, basically, this is the position that Sharon Lipsch created at the time and appointed herself to do, and was doing the safety stuff, along with the risk management stuff, so if she needed funds, she had funds out of the risk management program.
Jason.
The risk management and the safety director positions aren't necessarily this, that's different. What Sharon was doing is the risk management and the WSI and the LMS stuff, and that's all stuff that Tammy does. And there is no funding adjustment that Kelly asked for, there's nothing for that. There is no money. The only money that funds that is the stuff that they get for her going to make sure everyone's doing LMS trainings and taking care of the WSI stuff, to make sure we have a discount. It's not a safety director for doing the trainings of these things. That's not part of it.
Yes,
So I guess, Brent, first off, I would say that I think it's pretty sad that our clerk of district court, that they even had to send us a letter to request the trainings. I understood that you were already asked to do these trainings as an emergency manager, you know, to conduct. Isn't, as part of emergency manager, isn't your job to conduct fire drills, tornado drills within the building, active shooter trainings, to get that type of stuff, that type of trainings lined up? To me, the safety director is more it's more for your prevention of slips and falls, workman comp, ergonomics of the furniture, that type of thing. So I don't feel this is a safety director issue. To me, I feel this is, as the emergency manager, haven't you always taken care of the tornado and fire drills in the building, that type of thing?
Sharon Lipsch and Ron did all of that stuff.
But didn't we ask you to do that not that long ago? I believe the commission asked you to take it over.
No, not that the only reference to where this came from is that during the last active shooter exercise, Amy made the comment that Brent should be in charge of all of this stuff, and that's where they've taken it, that I assume that meant I was supposed to be. And I'm fine, I don't have a problem doing some of this stuff, I'm just trying to find out what. So like we have a little, procedure manual for fire drills and all of that stuff that Sharon had in her office and did, and that when they come down, they would go see Sharon and then she would give them the I mean, is that something I'm supposed to take on now? Am
I guess
supposed to-
I feel that as emergency manager, you should be doing it. Was Sharon doing it because it just wasn't getting done? Is that why Sharon was doing it? Sharon was kind of she was a go-getter, you know, so was she just taking this on because it wasn't getting done? But to me, this falls under the direction of the emergency manager to handle it. And I believe it was discussed briefly at the commission level.
And I'm gonna agree with, Christie. Our safety director or manager, whatever, they aren't trained in handling active shooter or doing drills or an emergency. A flood event is an emergency thing. We don't ask the safety director to do that. So I think what we're getting at, Brent, is that we want you to do this.
Well, that's fine.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to find out is what are your expectations? I mean, what are you,
Well,
I mean, I can go down, once a quarter and spend a day sitting there in front of all the employees, telling them this is how you do a fire drill, or this is how you do.
No, you do the fire.
Yeah, and then we have to do the fire
Yeah.
drill, but I mean, right now, I think we have a lot of employees that have never seen the plan, so we probably need to start
Yep.
looking at the plan with all.
There we
employees.
go. You just dive in and do
So-
these things, and if nothing is in place, find out what was done, find out from somebody else, and I think go from there. We need it done. There's a lot of, like you said, people who've never been through a fire drill in the county or anything like that. Amy?
And you said the right word, go-getter. I mean, from a perspective, like that is what I want to see from you, Brent, in terms of, if you don't know, seek out another emergency manager and how do they do it in their county? If someone does it well, it's not just, what do you want me to do? It's your job. I want to see you. I mean, Mike was really surprised how many people didn't have this. And I said, how many are new? This should be a part of their employee orientation. They should know where emergency exits are. There shouldn't be a question on that. And if you don't know, clarify with other departments on what, but you know, I would assume your job description should say some of this, and if it doesn't, then we need to update that. Because this is your role, and I do want to see it become not, what do we want you to do? What does an emergency manager do? What do the best ones do? That's what I want to see.
Anything more?
But I'm just trying to, so the emergency management is an intricate part of all of that, and it should be a part of that, and I've tried to be a part of that and kind of been pushed to the side several times. And I'm fine doing it, but I mean, most of these, if you go to these other counties, they're not necessarily in charge all the time, the emergency manager, it's,
Well, who does it then?
depends on whether they do it or not.
Well,
And I don't know, but I
Okay,
can
so-
guarantee you, the emergency manager in Grand Forks County is not organizing safety drills for the buildings and the.
you can't compare Grand Forks County.
Well, I'm not, I'm just taking
Yeah,
an
you just
emergency.
did, so let's just start at the beginning then, and then
So-
you take control of what needs to be done, and let's get it done.
Karen, and I guess I'd like to say with that, I guess I would expect that a minimum we would have quarterly trainings.
Okay, fine.
And being we've never done it, that funding should come out of emergency management. I take it if he's gonna do it. I mean, I don't know what the cost would be.
Well, it just depends on what you wanna do for me to do something there, you know, to run a fire drill isn't gonna, but there are other things that I think.
Yep.
Would be beneficial, and sometimes they're gonna have a cost, but I don't know where, that isn't in my budget and it isn't in. You know, so
Well, we
I
got,
don't know where that, you know,
we got budgets coming up, maybe you should add something in if we've never done it, cause there is gonna be cost somewhere, and I don't know where you can find the numbers, but.
Yeah.
Well, maybe put something in your budget for emergency chest training or whatever, $5,000 or whatever.
Don't we have an emergency fund?
Well, that's what I'm saying, it should come out of it,
Yes,
yeah.
I don't know that that's, the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think.
It's not an
I don't think the
emergency.
rules
It's-
allow it to.
Yeah, there's an emergency in an emergency for like our budget,
Yeah.
but not in an emergency.
I can't imagine that anything is going to be like extremely
No.
expensive, so at this point, if you have some training you wanna line up, that there's going to be a cost associated with it and you don't have the funds, can you just bring it to the commission, maybe we can find some money somewhere.
And from a perspective, that emergency manual, you could email that to your entire staff, so they have it as a reference. They could put it in a folder and then review it. I mean, you don't have to go through the process of printing every little thing.
Mhm.
But maybe a good place to start is what the clerk sent. You know, when I worked at the hospital, we went through like a active, it was more of a biohazard thing, but we had someone organized so that we could identify where the gaps were, where their safety issues were. I mean, there is that we need to prepare our staff for. So
Right,
that would be a good place to start.
So ask Kelsey, do you have any idea what to do if there's a tornado or a fire in our building right now?
Where to go?
Yeah,
I do.
do you? Okay, good. Because, oh, good. Well, that's good, that's good.
Yeah, that's your department head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
She told me where to go and what to do. It was very beneficial to sit into that in the training that I had downstairs with the terminal. Oh, yeah.
Active shooter,
The active
yeah.
shooter,
Yep.
just the tabletop, yes.
That was a
very-
good, very
it
good
was-
training.
I knew nothing about any of it. So yes,
Think back when we were all in grade school and everything, we had fire drills and knew what to do even in fourth grade.
And maybe you don't have to organize them yourself, Brent, but you can arrange. I mean, there were several people that came together and gave their talk,
Mhm.
and which was helpful. So you could just be a part of them. Doesn't have to all fall on you.
Any more questions? You good with that, Brent?
That's fine, we'll
If you have anything, just,
roll with it, see what happens.
okay, yep. Okay,
Okay, so Everbridge is our, notification system we use it for like the employees, we use it to reach out to the public. You can sign up for it to get weather programs through it, there's a variety of purposes, we're working on a couple other things with them. Our contract is up, there's an option of a single 1-year contract or a multiple 3-year contract. The 3-year is $45.96.38 a year, and the 1-year is $46.85.63 for 1 year. In the past, we've done the 3-year agreement, and I would recommend that for the lower end of price. I don't see us not staying with them for 3 years, so.
Make a motion, we go with the 3-year contract with Everbridge.
I'll second it.
any more questions? Comments? Hearing none, I'll take the roll call vote. Christie?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Danny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Myself, yes, motion carried. Okay,
Then I had grants on here. I emailed you guys some grants. I just left it on here. If anybody had any questions or they were like a separate email, they weren't necessarily part of your commissioner packet. I just sent them to you as an email that. One is, there's with a 2021. Can't remember why I can get that 20 in there. Homeland Security grant, so it's funds that weren't utilized, so it's a quick turnaround grant, and it has to be specifically dealing with cybersecurity and combating domestic violent extremists. So, I mean, I sent it to like Ron and Tony, and I know we already have one cybersecurity grant sitting on the shelf here that haven't implemented really yet, so I don't know that that's anything we're interested in. The other one I sent out was that there is a loan fund out there now for hazard mitigation programs. And I sent that to Jason as well, that, if you got a program, if you're not getting the grant, there's a way of applying for and getting a loan, so that's just something for you to think about.
Was that the 1% interest? Or no? Maybe.
Very low,
It was
very
really
low interest rates, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it's just state money, so you'd apply right to the state, and then the state would borrow it to you at the low interest rate, and specifically for a mitigation project. And I'm assuming that, right now, it's just basically send in a notice of interest, and then I'm assuming, depending on what they get, then everybody would be rated and prioritized as to which projects would be.
can you think of anything we'd,
It's, I don't know if
or
there's any.
Jason, do you have anything that
I
you?
sent it to all the cities as well as.
And you sent it to department heads then?
I think I just sent it to Jason.
Okay. Okay.
And I sent that one to Ron, just, I mean, the ones that would be more likely
Interested,
to
yeah. So, and
do
if
it.
they're interested, they just apply for it themselves then?
Yep, they can just do it on there. Yep, there's a notice of
Okay.
interest in there where they can just
Okay, good,
go through it, so.
okay.
Then the last item I hit on there is this plotter, that's basically a large format printer. The current one I have is 10+ years old and it's starting to give me problems. It prints fine when I get it to work, but when it sits for a while and we try to get it, it takes me half a day to get it to recycle and do everything again, so, I had Marco give me a price for a replacement, which was $47.40. Through the WEED program, there's a state CAG grant that says that they will cover 75% of the cost. We've already asked, which would be $35.55, so that would leave $11.85 as the county's expense.
Sure.
Yes,
Do we, with printers and such in the county, we buy? We don't have a lease program or anything for just a service perspective?
I
or-
think we do have different.
And most of our photocopy machines are all under a lease agreement,
Okay.
but
This isn't.
for the printer and even
Yeah.
there is a lease option in here, but when I talked to him, he said you're probably since I'm not printing all the time, that it's probably cheaper for me to just pay for if there's something rather than worry about.
Yeah.
Because I think the 5-year maintenance agreement, part and labor was, they're $2,100.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, and there really shouldn't, I mean, it comes with a 1-year warranty, it shouldn't be none of it includes ink or anything, so.
Can you just tell me what you use it for, this plotter?
So I've used it to print out maps for the responders, different maps for the areas. I've used it for Ron when he said search areas to print out maps of areas where we're doing searches. So it's just.
Basically.
Basically, when we need maps, it gives me a quick access to get a larger map rather than the size map, so that you can actually lay it out and see it.
How big of a map can you do with it?
Well, it's 36 inches wide, well, it'd be like that.
Wow.
So,
Danny,
Doesn't the highway department have one?
Yes.
Could we use that?
and so. I just need access to it at, 2 in sometimes, so. So, I don't know.
Where is it? Down here in the office?
In the planning room.
So, yeah, I don't know,
We just bought that a couple of years ago, didn't we?
Before I started, so it's over 3 years old. And the thing is, we don't leave it on all the time, so you can come over here, turn it on, you have to go back to his office, probably needs to, because just like being honest, a draw for it, we have to cycle it, like you said, we have to print out once a month, so it's not, we don't have issues.
so Brent, do you have this in your budget to pay for the rest of it?
Yes, I would take it out. The rest of it would come out of the cosmetic, probably, which has funds in it. so.
Being 75% if it's his paid for, it's pretty cheap.
How often do you say you use it? You print
Well, it
on it?
kind of goes in streaks where, sometimes I'm printing, when the responders need something or want something, I'm printing out, and other times it sits for 2-3 months. Depends on if Ron wants something printed out, or they're looking for a map we're doing, so.
So what would the total cost be?
After the money back from the weed would be $1,185.
If the grant wasn't there, I'd say sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Being it's a grant,
Do I have a motion to purchase?
I'll make the motion being the grant is in, it's not gonna cost us much to purchase that.
I'll second.
Any more questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll take the roll call. Danny?
Yes.
Amy? Yes. Christie?
Yeah.
Ernie?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion carried. Okay, anything more for Brent? You have anything?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. I have to take a little break here. Morning, Jason.
I'll try to be brief, I'll usually do that, and I don't accomplish it, but this time I'll try better. First things I have are just 3 Florida Communications, 3 utility permits. They're putting in new lines on counties 15, 19, and 4. All their crossings that they do are borings. I have no issues with them. Nice to get some updated services into that part of the county for everybody else, so that'll just be our standard permit procedures. So just looking for a motion and signatures on those 3.
So moved. Second? Yeah,
Go ahead, Danny.
anybody can second it immediately. I don't need to call for it. So, Danny?
Second.
Okay, any questions on the utility permits for Polar? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Christie?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Danny?
Yes.
Amy? Yes. Myself, yes, motion carried.
The second item on my agenda items for today is they're in the rotation for the first floor to have the floor stripped, waxed, buffed and everything. We put it up for bids. The only bidding we received was from Mueller Cleaning Service. He's the same price as he was the last time he did it, for $6,600. And it's the price for his, or your authorization to give him the notice, he can go ahead. To me, it's a slam dunk.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Demeester bid.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on the floor bid? Hearing none, I'll take the roll call. Danny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Christie?
Yeah.
Ernie?
Yes.
Myself, yes, motion carried.
The bad news for the day. That's some of their bridges, of course. The last meeting we were at, said our bids were pushed to April 11th because of funding from DC. They've been pushed again. We have been pushed until December 13th, 2024. At that bid opening, we will have 4 different contracts coming up for bid. In that, we have 3 of them that are still in design phase. We don't know if they'll actually be a bridge replacement or a culvert. 2 of those, I'm pretty sure will be bridges. So we're gonna have a minimum of 3 bridges, 2 box culverts, and 3 bridge removables with no replacements, all bid on the same day. I have a lot of concerns about this, and other county engineers have the same concerns from last week when we were talking, because now on that date, we're gonna have, that we know of, for just items that LJ have, there's gonna be 17 projects there. The average for bidders right now is 2.5 per project. There's only 2 bridge companies that are working in this part of the state. There was a 3rd one that came in to take a couple of projects, but the most we're looking at is 3 bridge contractors, and they are having the same problem that everybody else is from in anything else, trying to find staffing. I really don't see them taking on the time and the cost to add a 3rd or a 4th bridge crew to meet up with our demands. So I have concerns on those, of what our costs are going to be. The cost from the last 2 years has gone up 47%. And we noticed that with ours that were bid this last round. So if we have those things happening again, we're gonna have more issues. And DOT is more than aware of it. They're trying to see what they can do to move anything. They're looking for other funding sources. But at this point in time, this is where we're at. There's really nothing they can do or we can do. It's a sitting old pattern. In the meantime, KLJ is still on schedule, is still working on things, so that when we do get the dates, we're gonna have all of our stuff ready. So we won't be waiting our things to say we're not ready for it. We're gonna have shovel-ready projects when it comes to December 13th. But we're gonna lose a full season, possibly 2 months.
Is there any chance of we're moving it up if funding comes through? So that's the earliest.
They're not committing to anything like that.
Oh,
Because they don't know when they're gonna, it all depends. Are we gonna get a real appropriation bill from DC? Or it's gonna be another continuing?
Yeah.
That's a scary part of
Yeah.
this election here.
And that's where they're sitting. If there's a shot of it being moved up, if they get a real appropriations bill from DOT. But at this point in time, nobody has that answer. So they're not gonna make anything. There's a chance, but I would say it's highly unlikely that they can do that.
And the great question is, and then cause it's gonna be almost a year till December, how much is gonna go up?
Right.
He said. Ish.
So then the other one is that we had the project was getting bid in 2026, that got pushed to 2027. The good news is, we're sitting better than some counties that didn't have anything pushed to 2024. So I guess we do have that benefit. Most people got pushed to 25 or 26. And these are all states funding all of it, so we're kind of.
At their mercy.
At their mercy. So.
Your legislators.
We can't do anything about DC.
Well, that's what I'm saying, are the federal legislators,
Yeah.
senators, representatives.
Right.
That's what they're there for.
Well, right, then, clarify who you're talking about.
So, the other stuff, flex funds, they're supposed to have their first meetings, for selections on those next week. I'm not looking at us knowing if we're gonna get anything from the flex fund until probably end of March, early April. So at that point, we'll know if we get something, and then we'll have to go through the process to get it all put together to see which projects we get, which ones we don't, to finalize out in bids. So there's a chance we might not get those bid this year either, but at least we would have the appropriations so we can get everything set. This all depend on what the project is. Starting something with the roads, like on 12B, if that were to be taken care of, say did that, everything finalized out to get bid, we're not probably gonna miss the construction for the season, for how much time we're gonna have for asphalt and prep. So that one will get played by ear too, where we'll just be sitting here and waiting and more of a response than anything else, I guess, but that's what happens with waiting for funding, so. Those are those items. Next thing I want to let you know, unless anybody knows any questions on that stuff. The next one is just, people have been asking what the guys are busy with. Dee's been busy with signs, figuring out the new program with the grid layer. He's gonna be an expert in that because he's spent a lot more time in it than I am. He's doing very well with it, getting after a lot of the signs in his new position. Jerry's been building rock boxes in Lincoln for a new erosion project that we have to try and help speed things up, where we have these rock bags, we can take them to the pit, fill them with rock, put them in the semi and drop them in a hole. So we can get away from some of our larger riprap and make these 2-ton bags that we can drop in the locations. So hopefully we can get some more improvements with those things too. It'll be a lot easier, hopefully, by running a couple of cables and getting underneath the bridges compared to what the guys do right now, where they're manhandling 24-inch riprap. So hopefully we'll get some good uses out of those too. In the meantime, other than those, they're gonna do brakes, trailers rewirings, fender replacements. Tyrone, our newest hire, is actually rebuilding his truck box on his Mack, so that we don't have material falling off the interior as he's driving down the road. So it's a nice hire to have, somebody that's can take those type of things on. Everybody's got things and they're all moving, all going through things. Bridge crew has replaced some culverts, worked on some culverts, serviced their excavators, servicing their skid steers. They found out it needed something beyond their control, so we're waiting for a couple of weeks to get that into the shop. It's at the shop now, but we don't know if it actually made it in yet. Been there for a week. The bridge, truck is still sitting in East Grand Forks. They have no closer, and Nelson is trying to push on Navistar, because Navistar from International is now our problem for getting information to them. I will be making a phone call to Nelson this afternoon, getting the phone number from Navistar and pressing myself. If this is the way our international work is gonna be, we're gonna have problems. They told us we could get Ryan's truck in there to get it fixed really quick. We was been down there for 2 weeks, that will just step back. So we'll have that one for this weekend, which is good news with the forecast for rain, especially considering that's one of our shelters. So that'll be back, but as Nelson is down to mechanics, they can't find any way. So that's the fun we've been having in the world of equipment and shops. You guys are awful busy and keeping things going and getting everything ready for the next year.
Low limits coming on.
The low limits are coming on in the southwestern part of the state. Right now, we're not looking at it. but the possibility of them coming on sooner than normal is very much there. We will be back to no snowplow trucks on the roads this weekend just because of how soft they are. And I can tell you how soft they are is because we actually were able to take the blades out and rework the roads on a couple of spots. Danny had reworked some stuff, Bill's been out reworking some stuff. We're not normally out rebuilding gravel this time of year. To put new gravel down doesn't make sense because we still have a lot of winter possibility ahead of us. And we're just gonna throw that gravel in the ditch. But we are out there trying to maintain and get what we can for some of the questions and things out.
Are they like soft spots that you're working on? Okay.
Well, there's depressions. So in the gravel, there's depressions and then there's spots where the gravel's been moved out to the edges over the winter and we're just fixing those pieces up. So, Danny was able to, stuff that he has done, I drove yesterday, he was actually able to get a really good pack down on it. So it'd be nice to have the walking rules behind it, then it would really have something on it, so.
We get a half an inch of rain, they're predicting on Friday, it might be. All of them.
Yeah.
And they're awful soft, and it's probably load restrictions too.
Yeah, but we may, depending on what we haven't since I started, but we may have to put something, some sort of restriction on the gravel just so they don't destroy it. But I know that I've gotten phone calls already from townships, angry about the mud on their road, wanting when we're gonna come and fix it. We don't do township work. We don't have the staffing or the equipment to do township work. And let's face it, we're February and January, we shouldn't be having these calls.
When you say township, though, you mean people, not the town.
People, not the township officers, it's the people, citizens calling me, and I'm just telling them to talk to their township officers. They're limited just like everybody else is to what they can do, so I've let them know that too. It's not the time of year that our township officers are looking to throw gravel down, because who knows what we're gonna get, and to use the wise tails for the fog, we still could have a lot of winter ahead of us.
Is that why they're calling you? They're not getting any action from the,
Some
or some people don't know?
Some people, they don't know what to call.
Okay.
There's people that just, they live on a road in the county and they call the county highway superintendent to complain about the roads and areas. They just don't know who they're supposed to reach out to. It's more patient thing. I recommend, the people that do call, I recommend them to get a hold of their township officers, find out when their meetings are, so they can find out more about their roads and what they're doing, running into, so. But that, those meetings will be coming up as well. So it'll be in March 12th, be the Walsh County Township Officers Association. I think starting at 2 PM. Those letters will be going out, and then they'll have to get their assessment letters and their meeting schedule. The state law has changed it, so they can have their meetings anytime in March, and their taxation anytime in April.
Gonna be in Parker again?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the March 12th one will be in Parker. And so, but that's that stuff, we're working on those. The next item on my list is the annual KLJ $10,000 miscellaneous professional services. Not to exceed that 10,000, which is what we do. We have to get hydraulic studies and things, so we have it on stand, so we don't have to wait to get the commission's permission, so we can go into those contracts. Those hydraulic studies can cost us up to $5,500. So this just gets us something on the table where we can get a start, where we can move forward for replacing our culverts and get ahead of some things. So just looking for authorization and motion for me to sign that $10,000 contract.
I'll make a motion each time, contract with KLJ.
Okay. Thank you. Any more discussion on signing the contract for KLJ? Hearing none, I'll take the roll call. Danny?
Yes.
Amy? Yes. Chrissy? Yeah. Ernie? Yes. Myself, yes, motion carried.
Well, that's all I have for you today from my end, unless you have any questions for me. Otherwise, I will turn it over to Nan Homer, you want to put LTAP and the Build Better Most Trap.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
There's that Heidi.
Go ahead. You guys.
You're there, pull the trap.
Time I look at that, it looks like horns.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm sorry, I don't have enough for the audio. Dear God.
As Dean mentioned, my name is Leanna Emmer. I am with North Dakota LTAP Local Technical Assistance Program. I think there's a couple new faces in here since I was last here. What we do is we are a resource to local road departments across the state to include townships, counties, cities. And we provide education and, come out and we do different programs, whether it's safety, whether it's signing, which Dean took on now, whether it's asphalt, there's conferences that we have as well. So with that being said, I'm here today to basically recognize and recognize the innovation that Walsh County Road Department came up for last year's 2023 Innovation Champions Contest. And this particular innovation, well, I'm not gonna get into all the detail on it, but it's like they had an innovation a couple years back called the Guardrail Maintainer, and it was recognized nationally. And all these innovations, we post them on the website and share them with road departments across the country. Before I get started on innovations, I just want to mention that your road department, as you well know, is phenomenal. They are out there when roads are at their most hazardous, when that snow is blowing and it's snowing or on those icy road conditions. I know for one, I wouldn't be one that would go out there. So what I commend with Walsh Road Department is not only are they, and I know that's part of their job, that's what they've chosen to do, but they go above and beyond that. And that's with the innovations. They're constantly looking for ways to create better efficiency, more effective, looking for ways to save money for the county road department as well as the taxpayers. And so that's why I just want to give them the additional recognition for a job well done. So here you go, guys. And Jason as well. You know, Jason continues on, he motivates them. Hey, I want to hear about your innovations. I want to see them. I want to hear what you have to say. And then he sends them on to classes. I know you guys had a winter maintenance class here as well as roadway foundations and how important that is. And that actually ties in with this particular innovation. So with that, I will now start out the innovation itself. In 2023, Walsh County submitted a contest submission for this particular innovation is called, sorry, we can probably put it on the side here, right? Yeah, this is called the Asphalt Crevice Blaster. Now, it's quite an interesting name, but that's exactly what it does, right? So what was happening was, you all well know, the road department goes out there and they are working on crack sealing the roads, right? Asphalt cracks, as whether that's on the roadway system, whether that's on bike trails or walkways. And so in order to protect that subgrade and the base section of that road, your foundation, they came up with this innovation to better do that. What was happening was dirt and debris would end up in these cracks, right? And then that gets compacted. So now you start getting vegetation growing on that as well. Then they go over with the crack sealant. Well, the crack sealant then, because it's got that compacted dirt and the vegetation, they take a weed whacker and cut that all off, but the roots are still in there. So it's not going to go into the crack to seal, right? To adhere to it. So they came up with the Asphalt Crevice Blaster. This particular, and I know here we have Jerry and Chad, but Dean was also a part of it. And that he just didn't want his picture on here because he's just that kind of guy. And so with that all being said, they designed and fabricated the Asphalt Crevice Blaster. And because Jerry is kind of the brains behind this, from what I understood, right?
Kinda.
Yeah. Do you wanna get into, what you did with, what is asphalt? I mean, how did you come up with this innovation? You designed it, in fact, what's it made of?
Well, we just took the 5/16 bolt, ground it down so it was narrow enough to get in the crack, to get rid of the vegetation, so we could have better penetration with the crack sealer machine. So that's, and the more penetration you get, the better it is, so it doesn't, it isn't gonna, traffic isn't gonna take it out and leave with it. So that was kind of the design to clean it up, so.
And then you attached it to the.
The end of the air compressor wand, and it seemed to work pretty good. I mean, we cleaned out the crack.
So what they were telling me is they hold it at a certain angle. And they run, so you have this point in the crack now, and it's loosening up that debris, right? The air compressor with the air then blows it all out. Then they come along with the sealant, which then can better adhere to the inner walls of that crack, thus protecting. What a simple innovation, but how innovative, right? I mean, it's like, I love it. So what it's done for the county is it saves money, because they were going out there, and you just started doing this, so this is what they're hoping. They were going out there every 2 or 3 years to replace the sealant. So based on the manufacturer, it's supposed to last 5 to 7 years. So that's what they're hoping, to see it last longer. Well, that's a savings for taxpayers and the county as a whole, right? And you guys want to add any, and then on top of that, the guys aren't going out there, so there's another savings. They can be doing other work because it's not needed. Let's see, what else was I going to mention here? And the life of the paths and the roads last longer. The lifespan, again, savings. So I think we need to give these guys a round of applause. And I know that today after we leave here, we're gonna head over to Park River, and I'm gonna write up another innovation that these guys have come up with, and let's see if we can take it to national, so. Alright. So with that being said, I'd like to take a picture with everybody. I know it's kind of a tradition, so. You guys wanna get up there, Jason?
And just, so you know, they filled our budget by the cost of this was about $7.80.
You knew Jerry was good at blowing hot air.
Yeah. Better than the other thing. Not sure how we'll do that.
What are we gonna do? Everybody in or?
Yes.
Now, how do you?
We'll do a couple, let's get closer.
You're gonna have to look equal.
Can we just use this as our?
So is that a speaker? Can I move that speaker?
Yeah, we're live, so.
You could probably move it to the side.
All right, I'll move it to the
Can you
side.
just move the?
Yeah, I can do that. Whoa. Oh, no, I can do it. Wow.
He's innovative.
Yeah, I'm innovative. All right.
Are we live? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Let me just get mine.
Leanne, you wanna get in here?
No, I'm,
Oh, yeah, why don't you? I'll take it.
are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
All right. I know my boss always says, why aren't you in there?
Yeah,
Because that's
so-
a picture. All right.
I
Wow.
don't want to be in trouble with Brian.
I know, he's a new guy, right?
He's in here?
Yeah, I'm good. Good? Jeez. Jeez.
All right, I'll get out of your way here in a second. Thank you.
Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Jeez.
One more. Okay, I think we're good.
Thank you so much. All right.
Bright fingers.
Good job.
Congratulations, guys.
Yep.
Nice job.
Thanks for sending us.
Yeah. Yeah, oh,
Thanks.
thank you.
Keep up the good work, see you on the ice.
Next time bring cloth chips though anytime.
No, I thought about that too.
No, I was gonna bring them.
I figured I better not say that. That's a lot.
I went to get dumplings the other day and just making a kolache
Oh.
early.
You-
Very deserving. All right, hey guys, wanna grab it?
Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, unless anyone has anything for me, I gotta go to the water.
Good timing, Jason.
Thanks.
I might just come down and talk to you after we're done the water board. Okay.
Yep, it looks like it's how we work it. Yeah.
Let's get back to this.
You know, something so simple.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll move on to Christie, you're next. We don't have anything here in there for you, do we?
No, just I emailed you guys about the year-end findings.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yep, just the deputy auditor, 2 positions open. Just making sure that we can, hire for that, we're gonna post the position. It's very evident that we need somebody extremely, strong on the payroll side of it. So we are going to, kind of change the wording a little bit more to try to get, somebody, we're gonna try to be as, picky as we can because it's evident that we need somebody with a lot of strong payroll experience to come in onto that. I've been working with Tanya on it. We haven't posted it yet, but, I don't know if I need a motion to, I know you guys have already said that I could, but I wasn't sure if I should bring that up, that we're in the process anyway to get that posted, so.
I mean, just go ahead, I don't think we need a
Okay,
motion.
okay, perfect. And then the other thing, just wanted to let you guys know, year end, we were able to hit all the deadlines, except our 1099s, we might not have been able to get them uploaded to the IRS in North Dakota and Minnesota because of some issues with our login credentials. But I did get a bill from Kim Brug, she did get them uploaded, there were only 5 of them. So I'm hoping that, I mean, we didn't find that out until like 2 o'clock on the 31st. That we needed that, and once I logged in, I was working with Stuxman County a lot. The gal that works with payroll there, and she knew exactly what I was talking about. So when I logged in, the application was sitting waiting for me to submit, and I knew nothing about it, so. It's unfortunate, but also with that, our quarterly 941s, it took, I wish I would have kept track of how many actual hours I spent trying to balance our W-2s. It was unbelievable. I finally got them all to balance. Each step is you balance to another step, to another step. What I found is that nobody was verifying it against other reports previously. So it's hard to submit from one source. So there were along the way quite a few issues that I ran into. One of the biggest things is I found that there were 2 employees there, not full-time, just part-time help. They were paid through accounts payable, not payroll, so none of the taxes were withheld on any of that. After visiting with this Shannon from Stutzman County, and then I did call Kim Drew before I finalized the W-2s. And it was, Kim Drew, she recommended, well, she said we had to, create the W-2s as if they were submitted. So with that, the county had to pay the, FICA and the, Medicare tax withholdings for those.
The employee share.
The employee shares, yep, the employee share for both of those, so the W-2s look correct. And then, same with, there was an employee that no longer works here, that was in Dakota. That I found that they were not having their portion and Social Security and Medicare, paid. So it was about $600 and some that the county had not, that the county paid that they shouldn't have. it's just kind of all the way across the board, just one thing after another with, it really is, you guys, just another layer. Once I got it all figured out, squared away, I was having issues with retirement, I was having issues with, you name it, I was having an issue with it. But then the very last piece of it is to balance the W-2s to the 941s, and your 941s is your quarterly federal withholding reporting to the IRS. That should match your W-2s, because you're reporting that. They 3 out of the 4 quarters have to be redone, because they were off. Initially, I thought that it was worse than it was, so once I dug into it, it was a little bit, it was easier for me to deal with. But we did misreport about over $190,000 in federal withholding, federal wages. Only benefit to that is the system figures out our federal withholding, so that amount isn't a percentage, so we collected that, we sent it out, so that wasn't an issue. If where the Social Security and the Medicare comes in, those withholdings, we have to report that and do the figuring. And, we were off on that. So I've talked to Kim Druga on that, and she thinks it's fairly forward enough that we can maybe do it ourselves. She thought we needed to, if we owe, we need to get that paid right away so the taxes, the interest and penalty ends. But it looks to me like, as of right now, we overpaid, so that's good. But I think that was at the last quarter, or the third quarter, because with those reports, you're supposed to do, take your gross withholding, or your gross wage, and then so for federal, you subtract your, retirement, and then your pre-tax deductions, and that's your federal wage. And then the Social Security and Medicare is just your gross minus your, deduction. Retirement is not included in there. All of the 941s have the same dollar amount. So I thought that we were under, valuing the Social Security, taking the retirement out of the wrong ones. But thankfully, we were over, our federal was higher than it should have stated. But anyway, Kim Brooks said that is something that can be done, down the road. And that isn't something I have to, stop what I'm doing and work on that. So that will be in the, future, I'll be working on that. But the employees all got their W-2s, and we got quite a few people that, employees that reached out questioning. They probably have never looked at their W-2 before, wondering why the federal wage is different than Social Security, Medicare. And I greatly appreciated it, because I feel very confident my W-2 numbers are accurate, but I was happy that they took the time to look into it and make sure that they understood the reasoning behind it too, or felt comfortable enough to come to me and question it. So, that phase is done, that piece is done. Our office still has a ton of other pieces that are going through, but we'll get there. So that's why payroll is very important.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
how many hours a week are you putting in now?
I haven't even, I mean, at least 65, I'm not even thinking, it hasn't stopped. And I don't think that there's any stopping for a while. I have to get that GL cleaned up, so that we can start reporting to the state on our end of year numbers. That can't be done until I get that, piece done, and I don't know how many hours that's gonna require. I, signed up with this Kenny from payroll, I've talked about him a lot, for 8 hours on Thursday. We're gonna start trying to clean up that. And my intention with that is, I will sit with him for the 8 hours, and then after that, I'll try to do as much as I can over in the evenings and over the weekend to get that going. Everyone's anxious, I'm doing best, I know you guys all know that I am, but if there's anybody that wants all this done, it's me, you know, and it's gotta be done right, and, we'll get there.
Anything, Pamela, or is that Kenny, you talked about a student or hiring,
I've talked to Tanya about it, we're waiting to hear back on how many hours she's willing to use, but my thought right away was just the payroll balancing piece. Like if I can, you know, that all takes time. Kelsey, I think she worked on it for 3/4 of a day one day, just going through some of it. If we can even have her balancing our payroll against the bills and all that stuff, that would be huge. That's something that can be done off-site. So, just to get started on that, I would, because we have to get that payroll cleaned up.
Madam Chairman. Yes. I'd just like to go back to the 941s and thank you for all your work you did with the 941s and W-2s. If you hadn't dove into it, we would be continuing down this path of doing it incorrectly. So I guess I feel confident now that Christie has implemented procedures so that the data is checked frequently, monthly.
Yes.
Every time
Monthly, yes.
payroll is done. It should have always been done like that. It was not being done like that. So I think she's done a great job, and I feel confident now that we're on the right. Yeah, we're going forward.
Yeah, and Tyler makes it very easy, our new system makes it very easy to balance our quarterlies, as well as just year end and gross accumulations. There's a bunch of reports that Shannon showed me that you find stuff, you know, between different, you have to be verifying your numbers with other sources, you know? And, so there were quite a few things that we found, even within Tyler, that was set up incorrectly. And yes, I agree. I think we are gonna be on the right foot now. You just can't even make it up. That's what my saying is now, you couldn't make this up if you tried, but we're gonna get it and we're gonna, yeah.
I'd just like to tell you that just remember, you got a family and a home too, so take it easy, take some time off. If there's no deadlines, it don't have to be done right away tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't wanna see, and I keep saying, I don't wanna see it burnt out, but I know what it is, and you have a family that's growing up, make sure they're not getting,
I know.
you know.
I took yesterday off and I
Good,
was
good.
sick in bed all day, so that's what I get, Danny, or Ernie.
So when you're home, your family gets to see you sick.
Yeah, they didn't see me at all, yeah, they
But
didn't
just,
see me at
just
all,
make
yeah.
sure,
So-
I get.
No, I know, I am trying, I'm trying to find, a happy medium, but this next month is gonna be hard with, I believe some of the deadlines are at the end of, February, and there's a lot to clean up, so, I'm hoping for March. But we'll get it, yeah.
This third position was gonna help out immensely.
Yes.
Get the right.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes, absolutely, very much so, and we started our election, training as well, so that's gonna, and this year is the presidential, so this one's gonna be a tough one there, so. I don't know if we're gonna have to get creative on trying to get help from, I don't know, other departments or something to step in, because just like with the elections, with the, because we are the, biggest mail-in county. So there's a ton of work that will need to be done.
Right, so Chris usually had people come in and,
Or was that at the election?
no,
Beforehand, okay.
yes,
Yeah,
you can talk to Chris about
Yeah.
that, she
Where's
had,
was in here, a couple other ladies.
yeah.
okay,
Yep,
okay, good, cause yeah, there's no
talk
way that
ahead
will.
to her
Exactly.
about that, so you can, you know, get those ladies or whoever.
Lined up.
Yeah, and there could be somebody, if we don't get the gal who would come in earlier, maybe somebody else who worked the elections for several years now would come in. Yep.
Yeah, I know, we've been talking with
Yep.
Chris about it quite a bit,
Good.
yeah, to stay on top of it.
There's people out there that wanna come in.
Yeah,
Do it.
yeah, exactly, and even just the mail, it sounds like there's lots of mail and whatnot, so.
So,
It's just, but we'll get it, I mean, it's working, but, I mean, we've made a ton of progress, and, you know, and I just hate coming back and reporting all of that news, but.
We're grateful for the progress.
Yes, yeah, me too, and, you know, all of the time is worth it when there's a reason for it, you know?
Yep.
not
When you
wasting
see the
time.
end result.
Yeah, exactly, and knowing that extra step, like that, the 941s, I wasn't even, I could have skimmed on that one piece, and I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't, because it kind of threw it all open. I was just like, I kept walking around, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I really, why did I could have been done, I could have been done. But here I am, so
Pretty
yes,
painful.
so we're gonna get it, and, but yeah, that deputy 2 auditor position, heavy on the payroll, will be huge. Shannon from Stutzman County has offered, probably not till March for, me to go and watch their whole step process and what they balance against and all that, so that in itself will be huge. I mean, those gals over there, I owe them lunch for a month straight, but anyway, so yes, so that's
Okay.
that, so.
Any more questions for Christie, all this? Okay, well, we'll move on then, and, next we'll go to, jail update. We'll have Ron come up here, and I'm just gonna give just a quick update of the jail meeting in Devil's Lake that Denny and I attended. And basically it was, Devil's Lake is in the process of wanting to build a jail like we do too. And they had several other counties, 6 or 7 counties besides us. They just wanted input on how any of us would be maybe involved. And of course, Denny and I told them that we are, going ahead with building our jails, so, we didn't have. We had a little bit of talk with them, but they're just looking to see who would be interested in what they're going to do. And that was basically the meeting, what that was about. And they're using Elevatus to go ahead and do theirs too. So, so yeah, that's just the update of that. And then yesterday we had a Zoom meeting with Elevatus, and we've all gotten an update on their proposal of what they sent to us. The proposal is the same as the first one they sent to us. The only thing different is, the amount that they are asking for. And, so Ron, I'll let you go ahead with some of the other details then.
Morning.
Good morning.
You all have gotten, the proposal from Elvas in your email, I believe I sent it to you all. Of note is the, on the back page of that, the fee proposal, and, phase 1 of that is that $15,000. And, that pretty much gets the ball rolling, gets us plans, and a proposal moving forward for where the start of the process after this gets signed, there'll be a kickoff meeting, and then, we work from there on. I would recommend that, you guys make a motion to approve the $15,000 fee proposal for Elevatus, and we can move forward with continuing with that process.
Second.
Oh, hold on. Okay. Okay, any discussion?
Question, where are we gonna get the money? Where's it coming, the $15,000?
General fund.
I'm just asking, so we know where it's coming from.
I would say general fund. There's no other fund that we're using as, what did we use for Samuel's group? That came out of general fund, didn't it?
You still got that ARPA money, so.
Well, that's why I asked. I don't know if we got ARPA left or carry time. We do, and I'm just curious where it's coming from.
And we can use it, we can use this.
I guess my thought would be it would come out of wherever we had okayed the money to come out of from Samuel's.
Right, same.
I just don't remember exactly where that was coming from, to tell you the truth.
I'll take a look.
I know that the CARES fund is depleted. Of course, we still have ARPA money, right? But I don't remember where we were taking it from. So to me, we should be consistent and just,
Yeah, and that's why I asked.
yeah.
I don't remember if we used ARPA or not, I hear carries, because we would have had money at the time for in carries,
Mhm.
to take it out of
I
there.
think we took it out of
I
there.
don't remember.
Yeah.
Not any.
How soon would they release the bid once they get the 15,000?
Well, they're gonna have to come up with the plans first, so,
I think he's been working
Yeah, I know.
something, so Dave, is that his name, Dave?
Dave, yes.
So,
They didn't give us a time, frame, but said it should be fairly soon as to when the plans will come, and then, so I don't have a date for you, but we will know more when we have the kickoff meetings and further down the road, and we'll keep you abreast of that, so.
Do they plan to come up here and present this, or?
I think it's whatever you would want,
I
yes.
think at least Paul would come up
Yeah.
for that first kickoff meeting, because that's, an important one. It sounded like it would be happening within the next 2 weeks even. I'm just, estimating, but. So, and, there was a concern about what would be included in this. We talked about the marketing and how that would be marketed and who would do it. And we did discuss that, we would, make the motion to pass this and then look at, the Samuels group, the gal from the Samuels group to probably come and help us. Her name was Jennifer. Jennifer Gerd, she's like an expert at that. And she would come and present to us what that would be. And they also gave us, options about what we could do with the marketing. They gave us a package, and hopefully we can pick out of that package, because that package is pretty hefty price. So we'll talk to them and see what they can provide for us. Maybe we'll have to set up a website, which would, probably, or maybe they could put a page on our website. We don't know yet. That would probably be best. They would manage a Facebook page for us. Not necessarily meaning we would have comments on there, but we could put a lot of stuff on there, information to the public. We got these brochures, whatever could maybe be in a brochure could be on the webpage, something like that. That would give a lot of information for the public before we would have any public meetings with them.
Would they facilitate public meetings as well?
I'm sure they would.
I think that would be
He did say
important.
that.
Yes, Elabotus would. They are here to help us with anything.
It says here they will support and attend invoice in Walsh
Yeah,
County for
it's-
trip.
Yes, it's all in there.
Madam Chairman.
Yes.
And they do have a proposed schedule on here too, so,
Yep.
even
On the
talk
back.
about March 2024 campaign, that's that marketing, and then design documentation, May 2020, I mean, that's not all that far away, so they do seem pretty motivated if we just get moving.
Right.
And they'll also in this 15,000, we, made sure we asked about that, whether we would have some kind of initial floor plans like we got from Samuel's group. So, that's a big thing right there, just to see what it is and, the cost of it, so we can get going on, informing the public and the Walsh County citizens.
So if I'm looking at this right, it says percent of fee, so let's look at the design documentation, 30%. Is that 30% of the 15,000 then?
No.
No,
Or what is, what's cost of the building?
the
No.
entire
No.
cost.
Can't be.
What is it, 6.7% is what they're taking
Yeah.
out,
Right.
that'd be 30% of that.
Okay, just, because that's sort of misleading now.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 6.7.
Yeah, that's right.
That is correct.
Yeah. They're
Because
just
when you look
breaking
at the
down,
percents down there, it sort of throws me off.
they're breaking down
Right.
that 6.7.
Right.
Right.
Yes, Dan.
But none of these bids include dirt work, correct?
We,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No, I don't. I'll have have to clarify that, but I don't believe so.
I don't remember seeing that many of the bids, so that, I mean, that's gonna be another big expense.
Well, let's wait till we have the initial meeting with them to, you know, we know costs are high. We know, but I'd really like to make this so this is a positive thing for the county. It's gonna take a lot, but we're talking about safety in Walsh County. We need a jail here. So it is what it is. We'll make sure that we get all that information before we, you know, take it to the public and decide all that.
That dirt work could be a big number just because of compaction and what we're building on, and that's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know that takes a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And they've done this before, so
Yes.
it's not like they've never dealt with that. That's an initial
They're
step.
the experts. That's why we're signing this paper, because they're the experts and they've got a good price on what they built. We've seen the, you know, bid that they came back with a bigger jail. Was a decent bid, so.
So I'm just saying, I mean, there's dirt work, there's
Yep.
removal of the old building,
Yep.
there's
Yep.
a lot more to this than just.
Well, there's a lot of layers to this, for sure.
Yep.
That we don't have the answers to yet.
Mm-hmm. Great. So any more discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will take the vote to go ahead with Elevatus and the fee proposal. We'll take the roll call. Christie?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Danny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Myself, yes, motion carried. I just wanna mention one more thing, as far as having the jail committee and being consistent and moving forward with our progress on the jail. It's been suggested that we have the chair and the portfolio holder be the main people who would be involved with the meetings coming up. We're not gonna have the whole board, because then we have to have a, you know, commission meeting every time. It just is easier. Everybody knows, you know, who's invited, and, if that's okay, we'll proceed with having Denny and myself at these meetings. We will make sure that, any progress, anything is made known at these meetings, or you can give us a call. Just having commissioners in and out all the time seems to, almost put a barrier on. Everybody's gotta get up to speed each time, and it's just better to have the same people on a committee instead of rotating.
Consistency.
Yeah,
And I see that as good. It's just recognizing that we're all gonna get the questions. So I think over communicating is better than, you know, us not knowing something that only you
Yep.
can know.
yep. Well, right, and once we get this signed and we get information and we start giving it to the public, all of us will know right now. So, Christie.
Will I still remain on the
Yes,
finance committee?
yes.
Okay, so if there's finance
Yep.
meetings, then I would be.
Yes.
Then those, all right,
Yes.
sounds good.
Mhm. Any more questions on jail?
I guess I just would like to make one comment so that it's clear too to the public. That, because it was the one question I had when we were switching over to Elevatus. Are we losing any money, you know, that we gave to the Samuels group? And it was clarified that we are not.
We are not. That first stage, was the needs assessment and all that. They're using that. All of us will use that in coming up with the plan moving forward. So that is not money that is lost. It is money that will use through the process, no matter who does it, Elevatus or Klein McCarthy. That is money that is well spent, and we will use that moving forward.
Thank you, Ron.
Yep. Anything more?
And just to say too, like Christie, it's doing due diligence. I mean, when you're talking about, we always are looking for additional bids. So to have more than one is, I think, obviously a huge bonus for us, but also for the taxpayers, because we're trying to get the best company, but also the lowest bid to do this.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, well, you sign this then?
Oh, we'll say that. Yeah. I think,
She's on that red, so he gets it.
okay, yeah, that I just started with. That's title under here. Welcome. Okay, the last thing on the agenda is the Water Resource District reappointment for board members. Okay. Okay. There is, Alvin Jallo is up for reappointment of his seat. He'd like to be reappointed for an additional 3-year term, which would be 24, 25, and 26. And then Daryl Campbell should have been reappointed in 23, but instead Alvin Jallo was reappointed. That was just a little misunderstanding, I guess. So we request that Daryl Campbell is reappointed for the remaining of his 2 years of his 3-year term in 24 and 25. Do I have a motion for this?
I'll make a motion for your appointment.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions?
Is there any way the public can be informed as to when these positions are coming available? I've had people ask about them.
I guess, the water board would be in charge of doing that, because we don't tell them when to, you know.
I know what I assume, but they're just kind of.
I think it's been done before, it's been in the paper probably, and nobody's responded, so maybe the ball got dropped about not letting people know. So we can, maybe Ernie can talk to them about
And we've had.
doing it again, yeah.
Or at least so people know if they're interested.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can call the water board.
Well, yeah, if you're interested, call there too, but, yeah. I remember it being in the paper and, you know, nobody.
Back when Dan Duke was on there and stuff, that's how they went to look for somebody to get on it, really.
Yep, yeah. So,
To me, I don't know at times why they want to do it.
I guess I do feel we've had someone that's reached out to us, so we should be
oh, yes,
recognizing that and
Yep.
considering them for an appointment, right? I mean, we've got 2 names here. We've got Daryl and Elby. If there's other people that are interested, I'd like to know about it before we appoint someone.
Jenny?
I have not had anybody expressly say they want to,
Okay,
but they've said,
I might be.
yeah.
I might hear, how do you, I had that question.
Exactly.
And I keep telling them, contact the water board.
Yeah,
They're the ones that come up with this to nomination to us, so.
yeah,
It's both of them.
yes. Okay, any more questions about that? Okay, I'll take the roll call. Christie?
Yes.
Ernie?
Yes.
Danny?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Myself, yes, motion carried. Okay, any other unfinished business?
I just wanted to
That's
follow
been
up.
on the agenda.
Yeah, so from my earlier with, I reached out to Melody Olson, who does with beavers, and they're very interested, so.
Okay,
I've already reached
You
out
can
to
take
Seminole
care of that?
Barbecue, and
Okay.
she's very willing and just said, let us know what you would like based on price per plate, and they'll work with us, so that was kind of solved, unless there's someone that really wants to within the county, they can reach out to me.
so Beavers doesn't want?
They do,
Okay, so you're just gonna take care of that?
yeah,
Okay,
just letting
Perfect.
everyone know.
Ernie?
February 20, I mean, I don't know if I'll be here or not. Julie's got a procedure. We still don't know what time, if it's morning, noon. I'm running her over here and I'll try to get back. I might not make it at all and I won't be able to Zoom or anything.
Okay,
But let me know, I might not make that.
just let us know that the day of or so.
I'll have to zoom it because we're gonna be gone too, so.
Okay.
Wow.
Get out down.
Boy. You mean it's okay to Zoom?
We'll do it, but we don't like it.
Yeah, well, sometimes it is what it is.
I'll just
Okay,
be on the road, I won't be able to.
no